Okay, so I'm gonna give this thing a try. Hopefully it stays in place, and hopefully you're able to see what I'm doing. So this is the hem of our skirt. I'm stitching from the hem up 1 inch and stopping at the notch. I would just say my notch is here. Remember, when we get to the notch, well, no, let me stitch up some more. Let me see. Stitching up and stopping at our notch. I'll just say my notch is right here. And we're going to stitch, and remember, we turn the fabric around and stitch back down about 2 or 3 stitch, not that much, just to secure the spot. Then once we're done, we press the seam open, so my 1 inch goes straight up, 1 inch on each side. I'm just gonna press it down. So that's one side, and press down this side. Okay, so my spot, this is not working good. My spot is pressed open. This is the back seam of my skirt. It's pressed open. Just have to make sure my top edge is straight. You don't have to do this, don't do this part. I just cut my thing crooked, so I'm straightening it up. Okay, so I don't know if you could see my line here. This is where I fold it. I'm going to put my machine on the biggest stitch, the widest stitch, and I'm just going to do a base stitch. You could either do this with the machine, or you can just take your needle and thread and just do a base, which is a big stitch. Just, you could do it single thread, and we're basting just to close this just temporarily while we put the zipper in, and this ensures that the spot stays closed. So that's all you're doing. Okay, so I'm going to do a bit with the needle, and then I'm going to show you how to do a bit with the machine. And that's all it's doing, putting a base stitch just to stay temporarily while we put the zipper in. It just makes it a little easier. So I'm gonna just take the machine, like I said, put your machine on the widest stitch, which is 4, the length, so it's easy to pull it out once you've done. Okay, so where I've hand basted down one section, I'm gonna do a basically putting the machine on a basting stitch and go down, no back stitch on this. So we're just stitching in that 1 inch spot. So I'm stopping right at my basting spot. So I just showed you both ways you can do it, using your machine to stitch or hand basting it. So once we've done it, this is how it opens. But we know this is only a temporary stitch until we put our zipper in, right? Okay. So turn it so that you're looking at the wrong side. Open your seam, This is how your seam would be opened. And then we're going to take our zipper. My zipper is slightly longer, but this is all that I have here. This is the right part of the zipper. We're turning the zipper with the face, the right side of the zipper, turning to the wrong side along that seam, like that. And what you do is place it to the center, put the little pull tag, put it up. That makes it a little easier. And I'm gonna put a pin here because I know at the beginning there I see them straight. Okay, I just have to straighten this thing on my neck. It's like, ugh. Okay. All right, so you're gonna lift and look and see. If you look at the zipper, it has two sides, one side, and then this middle line. So we're gonna make sure the middle line goes in the middle of our seam that we're opening. So once you place it there, we know that's straight, so we could pin that spot. And you're only pinning, you're lifting and pinning against, you're not pinning, well, yeah, you're pinning down. Sorry, I forgot we're doing this lap zipper. Well, centered zipper, sorry. It's not the lap zipper. So we could pin down on both sides. And then move down, do the same thing, check it. Make sure the seam is open flat. Make sure this is in the middle. And we're going down, and then we're going to pin again. And go down and do the same thing. Well, you know, my zipper is longer than your zipper, so mine is going to be a little, and when you base, see how my base is coming apart? Make sure you base it just a little tighter than how I did. This is the hand base down here that's coming apart. The one where I stitch is not, so just make sure it stays together, because then it'll come apart once you start sewing it. We're going to pin there. And we're going to pin here. Okay, so just say this is to the end of the zipper where your notch is. I'm just going to put something across there. So that's how it's pinned, and this is how it should look from this side. Okay, now you could stitch from the right side or the wrong side, whichever side you feel better stitching from. With me, the way I pinned it, what I'll do is I'll stitch one side from one side and then the other side, just to show you. So I'm just holding this in place and bringing my pin to the front so I can see. Sorry, I'm just bringing my pin, so I'm holding it in place but moving my pin so I could bring it to the front. And pinning on the zipper and through the fabric. Okay, so I have to put my zipper foot on, because I do have a zipper foot. And all of you should have a zipper foot for your machine. This is how mine looks. Some of them are shaped different. They're different shapes, all depends on this shank part for your machine. This part right here, this dictates what kind of foot you would have on your machine. So, and with this one you have to, it goes on based on what side of the zipper you're stitching first. So I think I have it on the right side. Okay, so I'm placing it here, and I'm going to use this edge of the machine to be the edge. And if you feel that you're not going to stitch it right, just take a pencil and just lightly, or some chalk, and just lightly mark your ½ inch, because I mean it could be ½ inch. I don't think you need more than ½ inch down the side. So you know where you're stitching. Okay, I'm trying to look at this thing and do this at the same time. I'm not sure this is going to work, but I'm going to try it. Okay, when you get to the base where you should stop, you stop with your needle down, lift the foot, turn the fabric so that you're coming over to the other side. You're stitching across, and count the stitches you're going across. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So you know it'll be the same width on both sides. Then you lift and you turn back up. And try to keep it closed. See, my base stitch is coming apart a little bit. But I'm going to try to keep it closed. I'm going to try. And then stitch down the same amount on the other side. Okay, and that's your zipper. That's the zipper from the right side. That's the zipper. I hope I caught it. Oh, see, I didn't even catch on the side here. I caught it on the other side. So I did something wrong. But in any event, oh, I'm off camera. Yeah. So see, I caught it on this side. I didn't catch it on this side. I don't know what happened. I caught it so far, and then up here I didn't. So that happens sometimes. If that happens to you, you have to pull out and start again, because your zipper should be in one stitch and not a start and a stop, a start and a stop. I'm trying to get this focused. But basically from the right side, that's how your zipper should look. Like that. So then what we do is we pull on this thread where we stitched, and you do it enough where you can pull it away. And once I pull that away, that's a part that didn't catch, but I'm going to just pin it. Yeah, you have to make sure that and then we pull out the part that I basted down here. So that's the zipper. That's how it would be. That's how it would be closed. Okay? Okay, it's caught up in the back. Yeah, that would be the zipper. Okay, I trust this helps you to understand it a little bit better. If it doesn't, we'll go back over it in any event, but that's it.